Snow fell in thick, relentless sheets over downtown Chicago, turning the sidewalks into slick ribbons of ice and slush. Daniel Carter stepped out of his black SUV, the city's cold cutting through his tailored wool coat. At 41, he was the CEO of Carter Financial Group, a man whose name carried weight in boardrooms and headlines. Tonight, a high-profile charity gala awaited him inside, the towering glass building behind him, investors, donors, cameras, all expecting the polished executive who never missed an appearance. Beside him, his 7-year-old daughter Lily struggled to keep up, her small boots crunching against the frozen pavement. Daniel glanced at his watch, already calculating how late they were running, when Lily suddenly stopped walking. Her grip on his hand tightened. "Daddy," she whispered. Daniel paused, mildly impatient. "What is it, sweetheart?" She didn't answer right away. Her wide eyes were fixed across the street, near a shuttered coffee shop where the lights had long gone dark. There, half hidden in the shadows, lay a small figure curled against the brick wall. A girl, thin, motionless except for a faint shiver that rattled her fragile frame. "Please help her, Daddy," Lily said, her voice trembling. "She's cold." Daniel followed her gaze. For a moment, instinct fought reason. The city was full of people in need. He donated millions every year, funded shelters, signed checks that solved problems efficiently and from a distance. Someone else would notice. Someone trained, someone responsible. "We're going to be late," he said, though the words sounded hollow even to him. Lily shook her head.
"She might die."
That stopped him. They crossed the street together, the wind biting harder with every step. As they drew closer, Daniel could see the girl clearly now, no older than 12 or 13. Her jacket was far too thin for the weather, her hands bare and red with cold. Her face was pale, lips tinged blue, eyes glassy with exhaustion. "Hey," Daniel said, crouching down. "Can you hear me?" The girl's eyes fluttered open. "I'm fine," she whispered, though her teeth chattered violently. Daniel didn't argue. He removed his coat and wrapped it around her shoulders, the fabric swallowing her small frame. He pulled out his phone and called emergency services, his voice clipped but urgent. Lily knelt beside the girl and gently placed her own scarf around her neck. "What's your name?" Lily asked softly. "Maya," the girl murmured, barely audible. Sirens echoed in the distance, growing louder until an ambulance pulled up beside them. Paramedics moved quickly, lifting Maya onto a stretcher, wrapping her in thermal blankets. As they loaded her inside, Maya's eyes searched the crowd until they found Lily. "Thank you," she whispered. The ambulance doors closed and disappeared into the snowy night. Daniel stood there longer than necessary, cold seeping into his bones. He didn't know why his chest felt tight, or why the image of that girl refused. Daniel expected the night to fade into memory like so many other moments in the city, but it didn't. 2 weeks after the gala, a call came from a social worker named Karen Mitchell. She spoke calmly, professionally, yet her words carried weight. The girl from that freezing night, Maya, had survived severe hypothermia. She also had no legal guardian. Her mother was deceased, her father unknown, and her foster placement had collapsed months earlier. The night Daniel found her, Maya had run away and slept on the streets. Daniel ended the call, staring out of his office window. Chicago's skyline sharp against the winter sky. He told himself this wasn't his responsibility. He had done enough. He had called for help, ensured she survived. That should have been the end of it. At home, Lily proved otherwise. "Is Maya okay?" she asked every evening, climbing onto the couch beside him. "Does she have a warm bed now?" Daniel gave careful answers, trying not to encourage expectations. But when Karen called again, asking if he would consider temporary guardianship, Lily overheard the conversation. "She can stay with us," Lily said simply. "We have space." Daniel hesitated for days. His life ran on schedules, meetings, predictability. Grief had already taught him how fragile order could be. Letting a traumatized stranger into his home felt reckless. Still, something about the thought of Maya returning to the system unsettled him. He agreed to a trial period. Maya arrived with a single backpack and a wary expression. She stood near the doorway like someone prepared to bolt at the first sign of trouble. Daniel showed her the guest room. explained the rules, his tone polite and distant. Lily, on the other hand, talked non-stop, offering snacks, toys, and reassurance without hesitation. The first weeks were quiet. Maya spoke little, woke before dawn, and kept her belongings perfectly arranged. Loud noises made her flinch. Raised voices, even from the television, sent her retreating into silence. Daniel responded the only way he knew how: therapists, tutors, structure. He hired the best professionals money could buy, determined to fix what was broken. But healing didn't follow spreadsheets. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Maya began to change. She helped Lily with homework, cooking simple meals she said she learned a long time ago. She laughed softly at first at Lily's jokes. On weekends, she joined them at the breakfast table instead of eating alone in her room. Daniel watched from a distance, unsettled by how naturally Maya fit into their lives. The house felt warmer, lighter, less haunted by silence. One evening, he found Maya sitting on the porch, staring at the city lights. "You don't have to be perfect here," he said, surprising himself. Maya looked up, eyes steady but guarded. "I know," she replied. "I just don't want to be sent away." Daniel had no immediate answer. He only knew that somewhere between obligation and compassion, a quiet bond was forming, one that 10 years passed more quickly than Daniel ever expected. Life moved forward in measured steps. School years, college applications, business expansions, but some things remained constant. Lily grew into a confident young woman, still kind, still stubborn in the best ways. Maya, once silent and guarded, became focused and disciplined, driven by a need to give back what she had once been given. Daniel supported her from a distance at first, paying tuition, attending ceremonies quietly, never wanting to make her feel indebted. When Maya told him she wanted to become a doctor, he simply nodded and said, "Work hard." He didn't say how proud he already was. The call came on an ordinary afternoon. Lily had been in a car accident. Not severe, the dispatcher said, but serious enough to require emergency surgery. Daniel barely remembered the drive to the hospital. The board meeting he was supposed to lead faded into nothing as fear took its place. He sat in the waiting room, hands clasped tightly, staring at the floor he had walked across so many times as a donor and board member. Now he was just a father praying silently for his child. "Mr. Carter?" Daniel looked up. A young woman in a white coat stood before him, calm and composed, her voice steady. Recognition hit him slowly, then all at once. The posture, the eyes, the quiet strength. "Maya," he said, barely above a whisper. She smiled gently. "Dr. Maya Carter," she corrected. "I'm part of the trauma team. Lily's surgery went well. She's stable and will recover fully." Relief crashed over him so hard he had to sit back down. For the first time in years, his eyes burned. "Thank you," he said, the words inadequate but honest. Later that night, Lily woke briefly, groggy but smiling. She reached for Maya's hand. "You came back," she whispered. "I never left," Maya replied softly. From her pocket, she pulled out a familiar, faded scarf. Lily's scarf. The one she had given away on a freezing night years ago. "I kept it," Maya said. "It reminded me that someone saw me when I felt invisible." Daniel watched them from the doorway, understanding something he had missed for most of his life. Success hadn't been the defining moment of his legacy. Kindness had. That single choice, made on a snowy sidewalk, had created a future none of them could have planned. And in saving one life, they had quietly built a family, one act of compassion at a time.